Good morning and welcome. So, question for you, because I always like to pose a question first thing out, right? Are you showing up the way you want to? Now, this question has a couple of different meanings. Miss Karen, I help ambitious, heart driven entrepreneurs to get more yeses. So, are you showing up the way you want to? And I don't necessarily mean in life, although I mean that too, frankly. What I really mean is on social media. Because, newsflash for you, we get to choose how we show up. We get to choose that. Nobody else. Nobody's putting posts up for us unless we happen to have a VA that's doing that for us. But most of us don't. Most of us are putting up our own posts. So, how do you want to be seen on social media? You can paint the picture. You've got the brushes. Do you want to be seen as a go-getter? How do you want to be seen? Do you want to be seen as an extension of your company? Did someone just get a from that? I see a lot of profiles in the course of a day. I can't even begin to tell you how many is post, just of their company. I don't actually know that there's a person there. I just think it's a company. So what is that telling me about this profile? When I go to a profile, I don't know if you're like me, but when I go to a profile, I go to get to know the person before I friend request or accept a request. I want to know who I'm talking to. Is that true for you? Does that make sense for you? There's a way to orchestrate our profile so that we give the impression of who we are, of who our authentic self is. There are various kinds of posts we can do to bring that out, to share who we are and what we do, but not in a way that feels very much like company. And you know exactly what I mean. You've seen those kind of profiles too. We're kind of sort of encouraged to do that by our companies. And for people that are just hopping on, let me know what your thoughts. How do you want to show up in the world? I was specifically talking about social media, the world of social media, which, by the way, again, we have the power to control because nobody else puts up posts for us. And even if we've hired a virtual assistant, they work for us. They're putting up what we want. Our social media profile pages, and it kind of doesn't matter which platform we're on, Facebook, IG, LinkedIn, whatever, we control that. Yes, we have to abide, each platform has its own algorithm, own set of rules on how to be successful at it. But once we kind of know what the rules of that platform is, everything else is up to us. We put posts up. We put the videos up. It's all us. So I ask the question again. How do you want to show up? What image do you want to portray? Do you want to be an extension of your company? And then what? Now, I will admit, there's a certain fear, like, oh, I'm going to reveal something. You control that. Again, you control that. 100%. I mean, again, who else is putting up the posts? And there are various kinds of posts we could put up to give a rounded idea of who we are. You want to put up about your company? How about curiosity posts? Put up a curiosity post about your products. It makes me want to ask you, oh, that's really interesting. Tell me more. People are reaching out to you instead of you running to them. How much more pleasant is that? Right? Instead of billboard, 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 put up something that just sparks the curiosity. And say, do you want more? Here's a little taste. It's a little taste of what I have to offer. Then pull it back. How does that feel? Does it feel kind of interesting? You do the same thing with your opportunity. I mean, really, who wants to see another company? I mean, I'm in a company. I am. I don't necessarily care what another company's comp plan is, unless I'm company shopping, which I'm not. You know, there's a small population of people who might be company shopping. Maybe, I don't know. But why do you want to lay it all out there for people to go, or, oh, okay. Why not, like, dangle a carrot in front of them and have them ask you about it? They're now interested in what you got, as opposed to you going, because I've done this, you going and saying to people, oh, let me show you what I got, and then kind of going, oh, God, not you again. That's not fun. And that brings no joy. It brings a little frustration. Makes you feel badly about yourself, perhaps. I like the idea of people coming to me. I do. I find it a much more pleasant way to do business. People to say, for me to say, are you interested? And people going, yeah, what you got? I like that better. What about you? Does this kind of get your juices going? I'll tell you, it gets my juices going. And when I speak to somebody one-on-one, I know that they're interested in what I have to say. Otherwise, they wouldn't have gotten on a call with me. You want to hear what I got to say. You want to hear what I got to offer. It's not exactly what I say, but it's in that neighborhood. Kind of depends on the conversation. I don't generally have scripts. I kind of feel into what feels right in the moment and how I could support this person, because it really is all about them. It has nothing to do with me. I've got the goods that could support and help them. That's for sure. That's 100% for sure. That no doubt in my mind that I've got what folks need to support them in growing their business in a healthy way so they don't deplete. Because honestly, growing a business is tough work. Don't let anybody kid you. If there's a way to make 1 million like that, I'm in. Legally, of course. I'm in. I don't know of any places where you can legitimately make a small fortune quickly. I don't know that. Somebody does, please let me know. I'm there. Building a business is hard, and if it wasn't hard, everybody would do it. And if being uber successful was all that easy, everybody would be uber successful. It takes work, it takes dedication, it takes commitment, and it takes a servant heart. You have to want to serve. If that's not you, you should think about doing something else. You have to you have to care about your fellow person and want to help them out. That's a prerequisite. Every job has a prerequisite. When I was in my 20s and looking for secretarial work, the prerequisite, I had to type a certain amount. The prerequisite for this space, this home business space, is you have to actually care about your fellow person and want to help them, want to lift them up, want to support them, want to see them succeed, because flash, if they succeed, you succeed. We all succeed. It's the beauty of this business. That's why I love it. That's why if I had my choice to do anything else, I wouldn't. I love the idea of helping out my fellow person and making a good living doing it. I mean, which ways would you like to say win-win? And that is just the case. And I know that I got the goods to help folks. I know I got the goods because the goods helped me. And now I'm ready to turn it around and help others. That's just the way it goes. You get lifted up and then you lift up others. That's just the way it goes. Ideally. Sometimes not. But because we're in the home business space, we get to choose. Again, we get to choose. So again, the question comes up, how do you want to show up in the world? Do you want to show up as a servant or someone with a servant heart? Do you want to show up as somebody who is more interested in somebody else's, lifting somebody else up and making a good living doing it? I mean, let's be honest. This isn't altruism and this isn't charity. We are here, our business is helping others. That's our business. And it takes different forms. It depends on what company you're in. It depends on what you're doing. It could be health and wellness. It could be weight loss. It could be a variety of things. But it depends. Or do you want to show up as an extension of your company solely? The choice really is up to you. The choice really is up to you. I choose to show up the former as someone with a servant heart, someone who is there to serve and make a good living. You notice how I continue to say that, to serve and make a good living. One does not some people make a great living. And the interesting thing is, and this really blows my mind all the time, the more you serve, the more of a servant heart you have, the more you want to help lift everyone up, the more people you impact in a positive way, the better you do. the less influence you have, you get the idea. I want to help as many people as possible. And truly, my leaning is towards women. Because I am one. Because I know what some of the obstacles women have from experience. I can extrapolate some of the stuff that men go through, but it's not from experience. And I choose to portray it that way on my social media. I am who I am on social media, off social media. I am who I am. Are you who you are? Are you curating your social media so that people get to know the authentic you? I don't know. And yes, there are things that are private. That's okay. You can be private. There's certain areas of your life that could be private. Certain areas of my life are private. That's fine. Not everything has to hang out there. It's at my desk. But that's neither here nor there. Is your servant heart? Are you being authentic with your servant heart? And I'll leave it for that for today. So if you're not on my mailing list, hop on to Karen at KarenBromberg.com. Get tips, get resources. Cool stuff is about to come into Karen World, and I want you to be the first. So hop on, get onto my mailing list, and I will see you again soon. Bye.